Hello everyone, welcome to, I suppose, just a regular video rather. This will be a quick video, mostly out of frustration, because I just played this game, but basically we're going to be talking about how to make the best of a bad situation, and also making very good examples of how, if you are playing the carry, like this Sven will be doing, not to play Dota 2. As much as as much as I'm partially doing this out of frustration, spite, this should be pretty educational. So I'm playing Rubik this game, as I'm prone to do. I did not plan on supporting. This guy is also 3,800, so, you know, it is what it is. And I got forced into supporting despite instant clicking mid. But the real important thing is this game did not go great in the laning phase because Sven was incredibly not good. And that's something you have to deal with in Dota 2, right? Like, that's just the reality of the situation. A lot of times you're going to be in games and your carry just doesn't lane right, or your supports don't lane right, or your mid doesn't lane right, like whatever, right? And you have to just make the best of a bad situation. So this will be me making the best of a bad situation. I'm sure I did not play this perfectly by any means, but more importantly, I want to point out some of the flaws that Sven had. We're just going to fast forward a little. Let's walk over here. Nothing too exciting. All right, so Sven goes back to block. I'm roaming around. I place a ward up here because he saw me ward here, so or rather, I place a ward here. Alright, so let's bring down to 1 time speed. And look at this. Right, so they have an offlane invoker. One would generally assume they picked an underlord, they picked an invoker. You'd think the underlord would be offlane, but it wasn't. Both teams have a jungler as well. They have a jungle axe, we have a jungle enigma. So we know from the get-go that each team is only going to have one support in a lane and one support in the jungle, or in their case, an axe. And so this should be super easy, right? Like this offlane invoker, who looks like Pitlord apparently, or Underlord, excuse me. He comes to lane with 1 set of tangos, 1 mango, and that's it. He bought Boots of Speed, he bought Boots of Speed and base for some reason instead of at the side shop. And we have a pretty solid kill lane, right? We have Sven, Rubik. Like, we don't have incredible kill potential, but he's slow, he's an invoker. He has, what, 280 move speed? I've got 290, Sven has 290. We have stuns, we can push him back. We can at least get him away from XP, right? So in this situation, this is one of the big reasons why people don't play offlane invoker frequently, is that he should have just been zoned this entire time, right? If we're going to watch me trade with him a little. And I can do this because I have a salve in addition to 4 tangos, and we do basically the same amount of physical damage. And he starts a little behind. I tried to skirt around the trees and block sight, but we ended up just trading normally. But now he's getting low, right? And I have full mana. Sven skilled Stormbolt first. I went to check this first. So he's low, right? And he started Exort too, so it's not like he's going to do some shenanigans, right? So I'm going to run up. I'm going to pull his back. I ping. Sven doesn't do anything, right? He levels Stormhammer first, and he doesn't fight, right? So that's clearly an issue, right? If you don't want to fight, don't level Stormhammer first. The thing that we now notice is that he's also not denying, and he's pushing the wave. And if we look, this invoker so far has gotten, I don't know, like almost 100 XP, right? And this Sven, he's just hidden away. I'm pulling, right? So you got to make in the lesson part, I suppose. Making the best of the bad situation is thinking, all right, realistically, he should just be managing his equilibrium, like, up here, right? In an ideal situation, I would be zoning the Invoker over here. Invoker would have no XP. Instead, he's level 2 at 2 minutes, which is, you know, fine, pretty good offlane farm. Right, he's going to try to contest this. If you look at Invoker's damage, we know he's not going to kill this, so I get to deny, right? And he's getting some XP, but not a ton. He's trying to contest this, but I can block it. I knew he was going to place a ward there, right, because he had a ward available. And I take the creep. Like, this is all working out pretty well, right? Like, he got some XP from that, but, you know, you can't completely deny him XP at the end of the day. But now, if we look back at the Sven, right, he's just slapping creeps, right? Like, this is the perfect equilibrium spot, right? So, in an ideal situation, if we go back, let's say 20 seconds, okay, so this is like a great place for the creeps to hit, right? It's outside of tower XP. He could have pulled this and had them kill the range creep, but instead he's just hitting these creeps. Look, like, this is like laning 101 as a carry, right? Unless you're saying, okay, we're going to push, don't just push the lane, right? So Invoker now is getting a ton of XP. He should not be getting any of this. We're fighting now. This was stupid of me. Honestly, that was a huge waste of mana. He had a haste rune. But Sven should just be angling himself such that this Invoker could get no XP. He should have A-clicked somebody to get the range creeps to die from these, but instead he's just letting the Invoker get XP, and he's pushing the lane. Like, we'll see, right? He's not pushing the lane with purpose, right? Like, he pushes the lane, but then he backs off. And this early in the game, we can't take tower, right? Like, we're Rubik and a Sven who has only 1 point in cleave and 1 point in Warcry. So, this is basically the crux of it, right? And he's going to continue to do this, and he's really going to suffer for it. If we look at game stats, his last hits are going to be fine, but the Slark gradually gets more net worth because he, if we see here, is managing his equilibrium, right? Our offlane Faceless is level 4, their Invoker is also level 4, right? And our Faceless is similarly uncontested because it's a coddle. Like, what is a coddle going to do? So, I'm going to fast forward just a little bit. So I'm pulling, I'm trying to get stuff done. He just keeps pushing the lane. Honestly, I get pretty frustrated. We see we ping him again, because again, we can fight this guy very easily. But he's already gotten too much XP. If we continue forward a little bit, they're going to gank mid. This is where they get first blood. I want to just bring up... Okay, so things are not going great. I'm getting these bounty runes. What's his name is taking some. I'm trying to kill these range creeps. You can pull it in such a way that the melee creeps get past and the range creep gets pulled. Honestly, this was an accident, but you can do it intentionally if you are purposeful. And I'm just trying to pull. I'm just trying to make the best of a bad situation. I stack that. You can actually stack this at like 58. That's, if you watch, that's what I did. But here let's see. All right, so it's 6 minutes where I basically I pull my last pull, and this guy. There's no video, or I mean, there's no text for this, but what was happening was I was just telling him, like, please stop pushing the wave. There's no reason. And I was trying to be nice about it, too. Like, I was nice this entire game, as much as I wanted to not be. Up until the end, actually, I flamed a little. But, anyway, the crux of it, 7 minutes, see, we're trying to pull again. I'm trying to just deny this Invoker XP because we certainly aren't. Like, this Sven certainly is just giving him as much XP as humanly possible. And what should have done is he should have pulled this, but he didn't. Instead, more XP for the Invoker, right? Now, I'm going to ward that for protection and then gank mid. Right, so the general idea is that our Sven is pretty tanky, yeah, but his ganking, like, he's pretty gankable in the sense that he doesn't have any regen left, and he could just get sent back home, or at least put on the back foot, which would give Invoker a lot more space than usual. So anyway, let's continue. So that's why I put those defensive wards, and it's 8 minutes, right? So you won't always be rotating at the 2-minute mark, and we kill him pretty quick, right? So this is what I talk about when you say make the best of a bad situation, right? Your safe lane's not going well, and you try to make it go well, but it doesn't, just by the nature of your teammate is just insistent on doing the wrong thing. And this is just something that's going to happen, realistically. I tried to rotate into the jungle to disrupt the axe, but he had the fountain. If I had rotated maybe a little earlier, I probably could have done more, like pre-fountain. But alas, see. Alright, so to get back to it, now I'm in mid lane, right? And we're making the best of the bad situation in that I'm hoping my mid laner, who is a smurf, of course, because it's unranked, and I'm hoping he can do the right thing. So we gank mid, we get a kill. That renews my confidence in my teammates, and then I stay in mid for a little bit, I get a deny, and then I leave, right? Because you don't want to sap XP from your mid laner. Also, it's an Underlord. Like, well, I can't only do so much to an Underlord. So this is really the crux of it, right? Like, we end up going back to our lane and making the best of it and getting a little bit of farm. I actually had decent farm this game, even though we ended up losing, not surprisingly. Like, not only was Sven a bad laner, like, he also just did not have the presence of mind to lane properly. This was less than ideal, but I respect it. Now, of course, once my mid laner dies, you want to get XP in mid, right? Because nobody's going to get it, so you may as well. I had just hit 6, so now I'm going to meatball the wave, and this is going to get me my mana boots. And then, basically, mid-game is going to start, and we're going to start with this free rotation stuff. Sven, of course, can't even deal with the coddle, because, you know, why. But anyway, that's enough of me flaming this guy. Honestly, I just wanted to point out, this is why pushing the lane's bad. Like, it's very easy to just have somebody tell you, like, hey, don't push the lane unless you're really trying to push. But it's another thing to visualize and say, alright, this Invoker should have gotten nothing, but because of Sven's poor lane management, he got a whole lot of levels, and since we had a jungler, the Invoker was able to not only to succeed, right? If we had two supports, we could have zoned him, even regardless of the Sven. This is why you carry TPs. I'm going to TP up here and save this boy. But yeah, so that's the gist of it. And this is not really a Rubik replay review, so I won't continue too far. But I should have hit him a lot earlier. Yeah, that was an oversight by me. I think Sven's fine, though. I think we actually ended up turning this. Let's see. Just as a closing. But yeah, anyway, that's Dota 2. I just want to point out, like, as much as this was cathartic just just to make fun of this guy, it is something that's very easy to make a mistake, and I frequently hear from people that are like, I'm a support, my lane partner is an idiot, what do I do, right? So the answer, in short, to kind of wrap this all up into one thing is rotate to other lanes, try to get kills. When 8-minute rune's coming up, pop over to a rune. If you don't find it, circle back, get your bounty rune. If you were doing everything well, or if I was a different hero per se, like a Skywrath maybe, then yeah, you could zone alone, even if your Sven is pushing the wave, but really, if your carry's pushing the wave, the enemy mid or enemy offlaner is just going to get XP. That's the reality of the situation. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this was at least educational for all y'all that may have been like the Sven, or that hope to be managing your idiot Sven a little better. Anyway, goodbye. Thanks for watching, and that's it.